Speaking of fighters that have the second stint in the UFC, Lucie Pudilova, the pay-per-view star.
Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we paid $85 to watch Lucie Pudilova at UFC 278, and she got a finish against Wu Yanan and put her out in her second stint in the UFC, coming in 1-0, second stint. And she's taking on Joselyn Edwards, who comes in as the underdog in this one, plus 125. Lucie Pudilova, minus 125. Over under 2.5 rounds. Minus 289 for the over, plus 289 for the under. And I got to say, women's bantamweight, the under's kind of looking good at plus 289. I mean, the division that gets a lot of finishes is bantamweight because they're a little bit bigger. They got a little bit more power. Lucie Pudilova coming off of a finish. A little interesting there, but she's coming in as the favorite against Joselyn Edwards. What are you thinking on this one?
Yeah, I mean, you would think Pudilova will have the advantage with the wrestling. And, at that UFC 277, she did have the best knockout of that main card. Just kidding. Just kidding. No disrespect to Leon Edwards knocking out Kamaru Usman. But, she's with the right camp, you would think. Trains with high-level fighters in her gyms. She should be prepared. And then Joselyn Edwards, I think on the feet's probably going to be the more technical striker, maybe has the better kickboxing. And on the ground, though, you would think that if Pudilova can get it there, she's going to have the advantage, do some, or at least hold some controlled time in the fight. Overall, though, man, I wish they'd put something a little better to kick off this card with.
It's a firefight. What are you talking about? We got pay-per-view star, Lucie Pudilova.
Yeah. I mean, how do you go from being on UFC 277 pay-per-view to the first fight of the early prelims on a fight night card? It's funny as hell, but yeah, man, for the sake of the pick, I'm going to go with Lucie Pudilova. I've watched Joselyn Edwards a lot. I think she's average. Doesn't do anything, spectacular. I think this is Lucie's fight to lose, honestly. So that's going to be the pick.
Yeah, I mean, Joselyn's looked pretty solid over her last two fights. She just put on a ton of volume against Jiyeon Kim and Ramona Pascual, but I mean, let's be honest, that's nothing. Those opponents aren't anything crazy. Her two losses in the UFC are to JRC, Jessica Rose Clark, and Carol Rosa. And in those fights, she got taken down 4 times by Rosa, 5 times by JRC. So it seems like the path to victory against Joselyn Edwards is to take her down. And luckily for Lucie Pudilova, that's exactly what she just did against Wu Yanan. Took her down twice and got on her back, threw in a submission attempt, and then elbowed her out with some elbows from mount and got the finish in round 2. And it looks like, based off her Instagram, she got a ton of jiu-jitsu matches or some competition that she's been doing. So it looks like she's really been working on the ground game. I would expect her to go and try to do that in this fight. But if it's a standing battle, like Joselyn Edwards, she got pretty good stuff from range. Like, she uses her kicks a lot, just kind of throws that kick to the knee just to keep you at range, just so you're like, what the hell's going on? Like, I can't walk you down because you just keep kicking my knees. So I think if this is a stand-up battle, I'd take Edwards, but I think Pudilova is going to push the wrestling and want to get it to the ground. And Edwards, if she hasn't, filled that hole up in her game, she's probably going to lose this fight, because I think that's probably where Pudilova is going to take it. So I'll take Pudilova for the sake of the pick. But it's women's MMA, man. It's women's MMA. And I'm going to go with the pay-per-view star.
Let's go.